Near a quiet fishing village, there was a tiny wooden boat named Nilo. Nilo lived tied to an old wooden dock beside many large boats. Every morning, the big boats sailed proudly into the ocean. They crossed giant waves, explored distant islands, and returned with exciting stories. At night, the boats would talk about their adventures. "The ocean was wild today," one boat would say. "I sailed through enormous waves," another would brag. Nilo listened quietly. Deep inside, he dreamed of exploring the ocean too. But there was one problem. He was terrified of deep water. "What if the waves are too strong?" Nilo worried. "What if I sink?" So every day, he stayed safely near the dock. The other boats noticed. "You'll never discover the world staying here," one large boat. Nilo looked down sadly. Maybe they were right. Still, fear wrapped around him like heavy ropes. One evening, an old lighthouse beside the shore spoke gently to him. "You keep staring at the horizon," said the lighthouse. Nilo sighed. "I want to explore the ocean, but I'm afraid." The lighthouse's warm light glowed softly. "Courage does not mean you are never afraid," it said. "It means you keep moving even when fear is beside you." Nilo thought about those words all night. The next morning, dark clouds suddenly filled the sky. A huge storm rolled toward the village. The wind howled loudly. Waves crashed against the shore. The fishermen quickly tied down the larger boats. Everyone rushed to safety. But during the storm, something terrible happened. A little seabird became trapped far from shore near sharp rocks. The bird cried helplessly as giant waves pushed it closer to danger. The larger boats were too heavy to safely reach the narrow, rocky area. The villagers watched nervously. "We can't reach it!" someone shouted. Nilo looked toward the frightened bird. His wooden body trembled. The ocean looked enormous and dangerous. Every fear inside him screamed to stay tied to the dock. Then he remembered the lighthouse's words. "Courage means moving, even when fear is beside you." Nilo took a deep breath. Slowly, he untied himself from the dock. The villagers gasped. "The little boat is going out there?" they cried. The storm pushed hard against him immediately. Huge waves lifted him high and dropped him low. Nilo shook with fear, but he kept going. The closer he sailed toward the bird, the braver he became. At last, he reached the sharp rocks. "Climb aboard!" The tiny seabird fluttered into the boat just as a giant wave crashed nearby. Nilo carefully turned back toward shore. The journey home was difficult. Rain poured down. Wind roared around him. Still, Nilo kept moving forward. When he finally reached the village, the people cheered loudly. "You saved the bird!" they shouted. The little seabird hugged the side of the boat gratefully. That night, the ocean became calm again. Nilo floated quietly beneath the stars. The old lighthouse smiled warmly. "You were afraid," it said. Nilo nodded. "Yes." Still sailed. For the first time in his life, Nilo looked at the ocean differently. It no longer felt like a monster. It felt like a world waiting to be explored. From that day forward, Nilo still felt fear sometimes, but he never let fear keep him tied to the dock again. Because he had learned something important. The greatest adventures often begin the moment we stop hiding from what scares us. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward even when you feel afraid.